can work on any site in my district. Okay? So that's the hierarchy. We can change that access control list in the future if it turns out that you'd like to entrust the PE officer with the ability to put stuff, pardon me, the PA officer to put stuff on your site, or the PB officer to put stuff on your site, since many publications are becoming all electronic. That's easy for us to change, and that's the type of feedback that we would like to hear from you. But, so how would I go about actually configuring a WOW site? Well, I'm just going to click on the configuration button right here, and I get this little dashboard. And on the dashboard, it has the following things. It says edit the navigation menus, that's the stuff on the left-hand side. Add a new announcement, return to the unit page. And then it gives me a list of the pages that I have created in this table. So completely and totally driven by a table. So let's hope I can still remember how to run this. I'm going to start out by saying I want to add a new announcement. Now, as I told you, there were many built-in page types. And these are only for convenience because they're all absolutely identical when they're born. Okay? Absolutely identical. But the menu items are pre-canned, and so if you want to build a calendar page, it's best to pick the calendar item here, then you get the menu item for free. But I'm just going to start with the home page. And the home page, I'm going to click that I'm going to do a home page. I'm not going to put anything, any posting or anything, and I'm simply just going to go down here and I'm going to start typing, this is a test. Or maybe I can get a little bit more sophisticated. Let me see if I can, well, let's just do that. This is a test. So if I save that, and it says it's saved as a home page, and if I return to the unit page now, you'll notice that all that boilerplate is gone, and the content I typed there is now my home page. Okay? Now that's a pretty boring home page for the website, so let's go back and let's make that a little bit more rational. So I'm going to go back, and all I need to do is I pick my home page here, click here to edit, go down to what I've typed here, and instead of typing this as a test, I'm going to create something a little bit more useful. I'm going to put in something that says, welcome to the Los Angeles Flotilla (12-4). Okay? Now this little editor here just sort of follows Microsoft Word or so forth, and somewhere in here there is a style that I can set, heading 1, and let me center it. Okay? And then this is a test. Okay? So let's now save this. And go back to the unit page. Now, what you're seeing here is called in the trade, and for those of you that are programmers, this is sort of an agile development process, okay? I work on this, I click to see what it looks like, I'm not happy, I go back and I change it again. The only disadvantage of a WOW site is that when you work on it and you put in the change, it's on the internet right then. There is no development page and no real page, and so what you will discover is the one disadvantage of the WOW website. And that is you tend to make your edits about 1 a.m. in the morning when nobody else is going to be on your site.
Okay? Can you do a develop? I mean, we use the same thing in the federal government for my day job, the exact same thing you're doing, but we have a development server that we can test things on first, just because of that exact reason you say. Is there any talk of that?
There certainly is talk of that, and certainly it will be something that you have in the future. But for now, this is what we got. So you can see here how I added that. Now let's just do one more thing. Let's add a photograph on the home page. Okay. The WOW system allows you, when you're in the configuration, the WOW system actually allows you to put in a photograph. You can have the photograph on your desktop. Hopefully you've thought about the page drawing time and the bandwidth requirements, and you've taken the Photoshop and you've photoshopped it, and taken the photograph and you've photoshopped it, to make it a reasonable size. However, the system will actually bit reduce your photograph when you upload it. So just using these menus here, one of the items on the menu is to add an illustration right here. And so right here, instead of this as a test, which I'm going to wipe out, I'm going to take that out, and instead I'm just going to put a photograph in that spot. Now I'm just going to use a photograph that was already uploaded. The WOW standard is that we are going to allow you, since the WOW doesn't take any space, the 15, 20, and 25 megabytes limit is now a limit for your documents and photographs, all right? Because there's no code limit, all right? And so we're going to watch that. You get your own folder on the WOW site. You can put your unit name on it, and you can upload photographs to it. I'm just going to do something really lazy here. I'm going to take a photograph that's already been uploaded to the WOW site, and I'm going to center it. I'm going to save it, and I'm going to return to the unit page and see what we got. And right then, so I've been slowed down here by talking. If I had shut up and just pressed the button, I could have had this much created in the space of 60 seconds, okay? And if I had to upload a photo, 90 seconds. So you can see here how I've started to build this page, and other than the fact that I had to be able to learn that that icon means this is an image, everything else can be done with text. You can cut and paste from other applications and jam the text in there.
Does it put the alt tag on there?
That's a good question.
Because that's required right now.
It's required, and if it doesn't put the alt tag on there, the code can be synthesized so that it will. Take a look. We'll see
Cool.
we'll see what's in there. Okay.
And for our government ones, it's so much like it, it's freaking me out.
Right.
Yeah, you have to. It forces you to before you upload.
Right. That's probably one line of code in the WOW system. So, and
You have a space where you can put it in. When you upload the file, there's a place in there that you can put in.
oh, it asks you because I didn't do the file upload.
Yes.
Okay, great. So, let's see if I can get myself out of this.
So you're saying if you use the pre-selected photos, that alt is already taken care of?
Lay the cursor over the picture and see what pops up.
No, it's not.
Going on, it's just put in.
Yeah, so there's no alt tag.
There's no alt.
Might
but
be if you
That
go
one
back
may
out.
not have
You have
been,
to, like,
it may
type
not
it
have
in.
been
Literally,
uploaded
that's
with
clearly because
I thought we had to have them.
No, it just gives you an option where you can put it in when you upload.
I thought that was part of what was required on our websites, is what I'm asking.
It's an
Yes.
old web requirement.
I beg pardon?
Browsers that didn't render graphics properly.
We're differentiating
Those are-
two separate issues. Yeah, different issues.
it's a non-issue here because it'll be in the code before long. And like you said, the reason it's in there is because for older browsers, if they didn't render the pictures, they couldn't get the picture. It showed that what the picture would have been.
Can you put links on that?
Yes, you can put links on that. You can embed links in the page. You can drop HTML in, and we'll actually give that a shot. So let's do that next. Let's see if I can find my. So let's say that I want a calendar, and the easiest way to do a calendar, believe me, is to do a Google Calendar. All right? And when you go to Google Calendar, it has a feature on it where it says you can embed this calendar in a web page, and it gives you a piece of code that you can click on. And you can literally take that piece of code and you can drop it into any web page. So I happen to have stolen a piece of code here from somebody else so that I wouldn't waste a lot of your time typing this. And I'm going to embed that in a calendar page, okay? So, again, I want to come down to the configuration. I have trouble here with this mouse because I'm on a black piece of paper. Configuration. Now I'm going to create a new announcement. It's going to be a calendar page. And I'm going to scroll down here to this area, and this is it. The only trick about this, and this is in the documentation, I switched to the HTML mode because it will paste in that link as content if I don't tell it that it's HTML. This is probably the geekiest part of the entire WOW project right here. So I paste that piece of code in there that I got from Google. I save it, and let's go back and take a look and see what this looks like. Okay? So save it and return to the unit page. And Chris, what did I do wrong?
You gotta turn on the calendar.
Oh, I got to turn on the calendar. Okay, so the calendar's not turned on. So I go to the navigation menu, and these are all the things that I can turn on what's new page, an officer's page, contact page, PE classes, all these different types of pages I can turn on. And what I forgot to do was I forgot to turn that page on. And so it was a calendar page, and so I go over here to where it says calendar, and I click it, and I save that menu choice, and then I return to the unit page. And now, what do you see here? All of a sudden, magically in the left menu, I get unit calendar. Now let's see if our little trick works, where we link to a Google Calendar, and there, all of a sudden, rendered right in the web page is a Google Calendar, which, by the way, you can give various people in your website the passwords to, and they can maintain this calendar for you, and you can do that. Alternatively, you can have a line item calendar and just go in and treat it like line item announcements and put them right in there and not use a calendar that looks like a calendar that hangs on the wall.
Can I ask a question? With the Google Calendar, is there any concern with security? I mean, because granted it's open to everyone, you're making it public,
Right.
but with any problem or concern with just anyone, I mean, it's Google, so
No, that
there have
Google,
been issues.
Bruce, Google has been certified by the government as being of adequate security levels.
You gotta be careful about putting PII on the.
Yeah, you don't put it
Yeah.
on.
Or operational stuff.
Or
Well, that,
operational.
yeah,
Yeah, you don't put the operational stuff. But you can, there's nothing preventing you from creating a members-only page. There's nothing preventing you from creating this page as a members-only page.
Yeah.
Well,
And then you have to log on to see it.
The only problem with that is that in order for the calendar to appear for any member that logs in, you need to make the calendar public on Google, and therefore
Yes.
it's public.
Right.
Yeah, that's my concern.
So if you have stuff that you want to have secure, just do it on a members-only type of page in the system and do it as line items.
So,
Okay, it allows you to put in announcement type of line items that have expiration dates. That's the wonderful thing about the announcements pages, is you can put in a headline, a start date, an end date, and who did it, and then your announcement, and when the end date comes, the next day, the item disappears automatically, so you don't have any stale information on the site. So I want to do one other thing here, and that is that I would like to do a menu item where I'm actually linking to another website. Okay, I want to show you that. And then I think I've given you a feel for this. My goal was not to teach you how to build a WOW site, but was to teach you that you could build a WOW site. So let's go to configuration again. And let me do one other thing while I'm in here, because I think it's kind of neat, and that is that there's a page here called staff. Where's the staff page?
While you're looking for that question, where did you put the code for that Google Calendar? Did you put it on the home page?
No, I created a calendar page. Let me save this item here and then I'll go back, okay? On the announcements page, which is, every page is considered an announcement.
Okay, I didn't see you'd opened up a separate calendar
Right.
page. Okay.
And so what I did is I added a new announcement. I categorized the announcement as a calendar. And then, once I had that frame there to be able to type my "this is a test" in, instead of typing in "this is a test," I just pasted in the link from Google right in that place. Okay? So that's the way it worked. So what I would like to do now is that in my district, we have this really phenomenal public education calendaring system that is completely separate from WOW. And in my district, we're going to use that instead of the calendaring system inside of WOW. So I would like to have a way to actually get over to that calendar. So I'm going to add a navigation menu item. So here's how I actually create a new link in a